I'll call this meeting of the West Bridgewater Planning Board to order. I'll introduce the board. On my far right is Tony Kinahan, James Noyes, Jerry Stetson, our recording secretary, Donna Carter, and our town planner, Tracy Aldrich. And I'm Hugh Hurley, the chairman. Tonight we're going to have a public hearing, but we have a couple, but the first one is we have a request, which is Spring Commons, which is a 5-lot definitive subdivision off of Spring Street. And their engineer, Chris Vanderberg from Civil Engineers, Civil and Environmental Consultants. Is their engineer, and he's, is it? Okay. Well, I can read it now. That's okay. We don't need it. But could you please provide me with a template? That's something else. Also, we would like to continue the hearing scheduled for Wednesday, May the 15th, until the next available hearing, since we won't be able to properly notify the additional abutters per the mail below, which is, I realize is a concern. He didn't have the, all of it. The assessors divided it up, and somehow he only got 2 of the lots. I don't know what the problem is. I know it happened, and and everybody has to be notified before we can go forward. So we will not be hearing it tonight, but what we do have to do is vote on the when we have to continue it to a date and time certain. So let me just get my calendar up. And
5th, we've got a lot of conflicts.
yeah.
I won't be here the 5th.
No, I don't think we can even do it then.
We got nothing scheduled for the
19th.
19th is Juneteenth, townhouse closed.
It is.
It is. And then the next meeting is July 3rd,
and we're not meeting that week.
so,
Okay, let's do the 26th.
okay.
Of June.
June.
Okay.
You're doing an extra meeting?
We're going to have to call a special meeting, yes. Otherwise, because we are running late on there's a certain time schedule where when something is submitted, we can't do anything for a certain number of days, and then within another certain number of days we have to do something. So we're running into it. But by getting the extensions, we are keeping within the law, but yet we don't want to get it too far up. So let's, seeing as we're going to be virtually having 2 days off, the Juneteenth and the July 4th week, so I'll call a meeting in between.
7 o'clock.
Want to do 7?
7, okay.
I'm fine, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we will,
So that's 7 o'clock on June 26th?
Yeah.
June 26th.
And Mr. Chairman, they also did agree to extend the deadline.
I saw
for
the,
30 days beyond.
So with this, now he's got plenty of time. We will see that you all get a notice in the paper. I mean, in the mail, certified mail. So yes, you will all be. I know somebody out there asked if you'd be notified. That yeah.
I was not on the abutters list. I was the one who brought it to the attention of
Okay.
Tracy and Tim Hay.
So
And the Conservation Commission, just for everyone's awareness, is also pushing it because they're violating the 7 days notice for abutters. So they cannot do next week's meeting. They'll have to push it to their subsequent meeting.
so we got to live within the law. This is the constraint.
They've got a lot.
So, but you will all have now. We'll make sure that the notice goes out to everybody, and we'll have this date on it. This date and time certain. Okay, I'll entertain a
I'll
motion.
Continue the meeting.
I'll entertain a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The vote is unanimous. Okay. Yes,
Can I
yes,
ask a
Mr.
question?
Anderson.
Who would I check with to make sure that I either am or am not on the abutters list?
You can ask me, or you can ask Tracy, and or you can ask
You get a
Done.
notice?
Well, when this process first began, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was,
Mhm.
I was getting notices as an abutter, but the last couple of meetings, Conservation Committee and this one here, have not received any notification as an abutter.
Right, I only got the labels and the list for two parcels, which we didn't know. I mean, they give it to me, they provide them to me, and I send out the notices, so obviously weren't on that first notice.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to go and handle it with them, and I'm not sure which they'll do, but
And what if they don't?
if you are within 500 feet, which I think you are,
hmm,
I would, because their land goes way back, and
Right.
I know your land is quite deep
Right.
also.
They don't, it isn't just the people on the street near it.
Right.
It's from
Land-wise.
500 feet
500 feet.
in a big circle.
Right, and that's why I
Yeah.
believe I got, the first couple meetings, I got notices, and it wasn't for this board, it was mostly, Conservation Committee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all of a
In
sudden,
fact, I think Conservation Commission is only 300. I don't think it's 500. I saw the form once.
They do
They're
500
also
for-
500 feet
Oh,
per
they
the
are?
filing that
Okay.
I received from Tim Hay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 500
But
for planning board.
if you don't hear anything,
June
You are not on
26th.
the, you are not on
June
the
June
abutters
26, 7
list.
AM, I'll be here.
You are not on the abutters list.
Right, okay, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
hopefully you'll be on the next one.
Get that
I did
straightened
give
out.
them all of the plots that should be from the municipal map that should
Okay,
be
thank you.
used for 500 feet of all of us.
okay. But I'll remind you.
Thanks. You see me around enough.
Yeah, I know.
No ballerina in the parking lot yet,
I know.
okay? So,
That I don't wanna.
Jerry,
Not you in a skirt.
listen, 5 seconds of your life you're never gonna get back, okay?
No, if you haven't seen him mowing the lawn on when he stands up on, he twirls around. So I kiddingly said, "You're like a ballerina girl out there,"
Yeah.
which you are. You make that, you dance on that machine. I'll say that for you.
Till I fall off.
Okay. Thank you. We have another public hearing, so we have to move on. But thank you for coming in. And if you have any
Thanks.
questions, give us. We're here.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
No, we'll do that. Okay. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a continuation of the public hearing for, we're doing two for the same people in the adjacent for number 38 United Drive and number 40 United Drives, although they are two separate applications for the special permit. We are hearing them at the same time because they are relevant to each other. They're pretty much the same thing what they're doing. The review from our engineers is both for the same thing, so we will discuss them both together. When it comes time for the voting, we will have to do it individually.
Perfect.
But, with that said, Mr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. What we have before you is 40 and 38 United Drive, both industrial warehouse structures. 40 United Drive is a 180,000 square foot industrial structure. We postponed these public hearings quite a bit as we determined NHESP jurisdiction. They finally came back with a 250-foot offset from our westernmost property line. That offset was put in, established, and we established our parking and drainage from there, moving the building over slightly. With that, NHESP required a little bit of fencing around the parking lot, not around the basin itself. And the site itself ended up being lowered slightly from where it was previously because the groundwater analysis done by others. So we have truck parking on one side, automotive parking on another, each with their separate driveways. 38 United is basically the reverse. Truck parking closest to the western side, automotive park to the right side, to the eastern side. From the original approval, what we did was we removed a large automotive parking lot from in the buffer area up near United Drive. As it was no longer necessary, we moved the building a little bit closer to the roadway, and we squeezed the parking in a little bit better, front to back. It's a fairly straightforward, especially considering the original application. We did decrease the overall impervious space. We're utilizing the on-site wastewater treatment plant, and we have town water in this area. You know, there was questions from the fire department, which I believe has been established. The review engineer had a few questions for us. We did respond to those comments. I think it's questions from the board at this point, unless there's something else.
The comments was that he was happy with it. About the only thing is he recommended. Did you get a copy of his?
We got a copy of his recommendation, yes.
Okay. And is a condition that he thought we should put in.
Yep.
Regarding the storage of liquids. So
Being the district that we're in, we completely understand. We did it for across the street as well, so.
okay. I think pretty much we got what we needed. Was there anything, trying to think of anything else missing? I know I had a question with the property line. If you look at one of your original ones, it was a difference in the line.
Absolutely.
We've got it straightened out.
We appreciate that. Your other question in a previous hearing was whether or not we had the revised photometric plan. We did submit that with these as well.
In fact, the ones that you sent email, I saw it.
Correct.
So that you had that, and it's really, it's just the Hockomock Swamp behind you, and across the street, it's people.
Might make the turtles get up earlier.
Especially if we're leaving a 250-foot buffer, we're definitely
Well,
not
they're gonna
disturbing
come to
it.
the light, I
I'm telling you.
The only thing with that is we hope that at night you tune them down after hours. But I know you got to have security lights, which we're just trying to get. We don't want to look like a big glow over the town. That is pretty much it. Can anybody think of anything other? I know it's been round and around.
It has, and we do appreciate the board's patience as our client and NHESP worked out what we needed to do for these properties.
And we understand when some of these, I won't say anything, but regulatory boards get involved with this goes.
I understand.
One of the condition, or the concerns that Mr. Brennan, review engineer, had was that the sewage treatment plant Did it be determined whether it was of adequate capacity, and is it?
Currently, the treatment plant's designed for approximately 35,000 gallons a day. It's currently seeing 3,000 gallons a day. If you remember, when we had across the street fully operational, there was close to 80,000 square feet on 2 floors of office space alone for their building. Just having that office space removed when we did the last renovation has certainly helped. As such, we've actually submitted to DEP to change the operations of the treatment plant with slightly different equipment for lesser flows, including these 2 buildings.
Okay. So that answers that, and the other was, he recommended, for storage of any hazardous materials, and it's he quoted the section of the law which we will cut and paste.
Understood.
And
So there's one sewage treatment plant, both properties.
For all 3, for including 35 United across the street. The treatment plant was designed in the 80s when the building was originally built. It was expanded in the 90s when the building was expanded. It's been operational since, and it was modified at the time of purchase in 2015 for newer technology for the discharges. And DEP holds the current permit, but we have been in front of Rob, and we did run it by him before we went to DEP as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and the other one that, putting in a general, this is Mr. Brennan, recommend a general condition that prohibit the use, any use that is listed as a prohibited use under section 4.6.7 of our zoning bylaws. So those are them that we have regular boilerplate.
Understood.
Okay, we have to make some determinations. Okay. Let's do number 38 first. Um, Section 7.5.3.1, granting, special permit granting authority shall approve any such item of a special permit unless it finds that it, in its judgment, use is in harmony with the specific site is appropriate location for such use, structure, or condition. B, the use as developed and operated will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Well, let's discuss them. The appropriate site, it's an industrial park, it's, everything's being with, according to code. And B, the use as developed not will not adversely affect the neighborhood. It is a industrial park, in fact, it does not have any residential neighbors. Your property,
Correct.
it doesn't. It has the Tuckamuck Swamp and your fellow industrial park uses. Number C, there will be no nuisance or hazardous vehicles or pedestrian in a volume greater than the capacity of streets affected. That's the widest street in town.
By far.
And D, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And E, access to the site over streets is appropriate for the type of vehicles involved. town built Manley Street just to access the industrial zoned area. So. And you were in close proximity to Route 24. So I'll entertain a motion to make a positive finding that these conditions have been met.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kinahan, how do you
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Mr. Norris?
Aye.
Mr. Stetson?
Aye.
And Mr. Hurley votes aye. Okay, and in section 7.5.3.2, in addition to the items, listed in section 7.5.3.1, any such application for use in the Water Resource Protection District shall be subject to the following conditions. A, the use is appropriate to the hydrology, natural topography, soils, and other characteristics of the site to be developed. The use will not, during construction or thereafter, have any adverse environmental impacts on any zones of the Water Resource Protection District. And C, the use will not adversely affect an existing or designated future public work. I'll entertain a motion to
So moved.
Mr. Kinahan.
Second.
Mr. Kinahan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Mr. Stetson? Mr. Hurley votes aye.
Thank you.
We will be preparing the permit with the conditions.
We
So,
appreciate
so
that.
stated,
Yeah,
okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I just request that another condition be added in that references the original special permit and site
Okay.
plan approval
This is the one with the
for 38?
For 38.
38, yeah, that's, okay, all right. Okay. That will be in,
I'll amend my motion that the recommendations by our
well,
review engineer.
make the motion to approve this with the inclusion of, which,
Make, so moved.
thank you.
Second.
Mr. Kinahan,
Aye.
Mr. Noyes,
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Stetson, Mr. Hurley votes aye.
Thank you for the
Okay.
clarification.
So, 38 has been approved. Now let's do.
We can adjourn now.
No, we can't. I'm on a roll, let's keep going. And these-
Lonnie hasn't been here before us enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Adam has. He doesn't like it. Okay. We will be voting on number 40. I gotta read this into the thing so that Donna can write it all down. That's why she's writing furiously over there. She's
Feverishly.
a speed writer. Okay. Per section 7.5.3.1 shall approve, the special permit granting authority shall approve the special permit on these findings. A, the specific site is an appropriate location for such use, structure, or conditions. B, the use as developed and operated will not adversely affect the neighborhood. C, there will be no nuisance or hazard to vehicles or pedestrians of volume greater than the capacity of the streets affected. D, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And E, access to the site over streets is appropriate for the type of vehicle involved. I'll entertain a motion to make a positive finding.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kinahan, how do you
Aye.
vote? Mr. Noyes?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Stetson? And Mr. Hurley votes aye. Under section 7.5.3.2, additional items have to be voted on. A, the use is appropriate to the hydrology, natural topography, soils, and other characteristics of the site to be developed. B, the use will not, during construction or thereafter, have any adverse environmental impact on any of the zones of the Water Resource Protection District. And C, the use will not adversely affect an existing or designated public work. I'll entertain a motion to find a positive finding.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kinahan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Noyes?
Aye.
Mr. Stetson?
We need to add,
Mr. Hurley votes aye.
do we need to add Pat's comments into this one?
Sorry, Dick. I read it in the record
Yeah, but it needs to be added to the permit, right?
for both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just clarify.
Yeah, no. That was read in and stated that would be one of the conditions, and
Okay.
Mr. Campbell was kind enough to agree to it
Absolutely.
on the big screen.
And we greatly appreciate it. We know it's been a long process, so thank you very much for your indulgence.
Okay, as you're aware, we have to file this with the town clerk, and it's an appeal period, and at which point they'll notify you to when it is ready.
We appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just one quick, I probably want to take an additional vote on the site plan, just to approve the
Oh,
site plan.
Mr. Campbell, wait a minute, we gotta vote on the site plans. Thank you.
I'll move to accept 38 as its site plan as it presented.
Okay, and although we didn't get into it tonight, but we did go into it in depth at future former meetings. And Mr. Campbell did bring up the fact that the lighting has been put in and a couple of things have been straightened out, so they all pertain to the site plan, and they're all, so, but
But you need a vote of each
we need, so you're making a motion.
on 38.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Noyes,
Aye.
Mr. Stetson. And the Hurley votes aye. Okay, number 40.
Make a motion to accept the site plan as presented on lot 40.
And what I said before.
So it's said.
We have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Kinahan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Noyes?
Aye.
Mr. Stetson? Mr. Hurley votes aye. Voted unanimous of the four present.
Thank you again.
Okay. Yes, sir. Are you here for?
The wireless communications facility discussion.
Okay.
So I'll move to close the public hearings.
Yes. Do that. Okay. Have a motion and a second. Close both public hearings.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous.